See another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide. See another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide. And see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
I am a huge fan of creepypastas, and one of the creepiest and most interesting stories to read is the doppelganger story. The reason for that is because we all have an inherent fear of being replaced. We all also have a huge fear of having our identity stolen. This story template basically focuses on both of these, while also giving us a heavy dose of what the fuck is going on and why the hell is this creature here? Why does it look like this? Why does it look like me? And why does it have my face? These are all great horror indicators and markers that I absolutely adore, not only in the original stories that this trend emulates, but the trend itself is extremely well done. There are so many different creators out there that have put their own spin on this, and they're all so creepy, and it feels great to feel like it's Halloween in the middle of winter. But there is one creator in the Dragon Ball community that has taken this to the next level and has made a Dragon Ball version. Well, 4 Dragon Ball versions of this exact same trend, and I wanted to take a look at each and every one of them with you guys today. If you haven't seen it yet, this is amazing work by Kenzoku Mato on Twitter. I'm gonna leave a link to his Twitter profile in the description below. Make sure you go ahead and check it out and follow him. Make sure you turn on your nightlight, grab your blankie. This is Runaway and Hide Dragon Ball Edition.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
First of all, what the hell is Broly watching? I can't even imagine him watching TV, seeing as how he lives on planet Vampa and they don't have really any technology there. But the reason that this trend works so well, and this is how you know this guy is a Dragon Ball fan, huge Dragon Ball fan, that is the doppelganger is Broly, but not Broly. It is the DBZ Broly, but it just looks so much creepier because it is DBZ Broly. It is like, I know you. You look similar to me, but you're not me at all. And actually, DBZ and DBS Broly are the same person, but they look far more different. Let's jump in the next one.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
Bro, what the fuck? Vegito took me out. So this is supposed to be Gogeta watching TV, which to me, I know I can understand if you really haven't seen the differences between the two characters. They might look very similar besides the fact that he's not wearing earrings, and again, he's not wearing his outfit, which I think that it would have worked better if he was wearing the actual outfit himself. It would be less confusing, but I do like, and I think it's really funny that it is actually Vegito, because they're the same person essentially. Vegito is there to haunt Gogeta's dreams forever. Look at this face. This is a face only Vegeta would love. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
Whew, okay, I think we can all relate to this. I don't know if you are someone that drives regularly, but the fear of having somebody in your backseat as you're driving is, I can't even put it into words. It just puts the hair on the back of your neck all the way up. It's something that is probably one of the creepiest things that could potentially be story material. This is actually a story that had happened a long time ago, not even a creepypasta. This was a urban legend with the hitchhiker that wanted to kill the person that was driving and was waiting for it, and at the same time, every time they tried to kill them while they were driving, a truck was behind the car and they were honking, putting on their high beams, scaring the shit out of the driver, but in reality they were trying to kind of fend off this murderer. So this is probably the creepiest one so far, because to me, I drive a lot and I think that it would be horrifying to have a doppelganger in the backseat of my car. I can only imagine looking through the rearview mirror and seeing myself sitting back there. Ooh, it gives me the chill. This one is last but not least. Let's go ahead and jump in.
You see another person that looks identical to you. Run away and hide.
Okay, that one was good. I think that this works so well with Dragon Ball. This trend works so expertly with Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball has so many different characters that are the same person, but different timelines, different movies, a revamped version, an updated version, reborn version. So it definitely works really well in that style. This one, I like that you added these tentacles coming out of his mouth. He's already horrifying. He's supposed to be a monster. He looks monstrous in this. The tentacles are just a nice touch, but it got me thinking, what would Cell think of when he saw Cell Max? I don't think that he would think that he's perfect, in my opinion, because Cell Max looks a lot like the second form Cell, so I think that Perfect Cell would understand this. And the fact that he's a monster also probably would rub Cell the wrong way.
What are you saying?
Anyway, as you can see, my mouth doesn't move as much as I speak. Am I not supposed to not being able to do that? You see another person that looks identical to you. Run away and hide.
As you can see, the concept, there are doppelgangers among us, and Dragon Ball seems to have an abundance of them. But there is one that I did not realize until I actually saw this animation of how many doppelgangers this character has.
You see person identical to you. Run away. Hide.
There are 7 versions of doppelgangers that are identical to Goku. And this isn't even the official count, more than likely. We are even ignoring some of the other ones like Gogeta that look very similar to Goku. We are ignoring them. This animation shows us how many different versions of this character there are. They've been feeding us different Goku lookalikes for decades now, and they thought that we would not notice. But you know what? I noticed. This animation shows us the complete horror show of all the different Goku variants. The way they look is only rivaled in horror when you see how many different versions of Goku there are. It just reminded me how when I play any Dragon Ball fighting game back in the day, Goku had the most amount of character skins available to anyone. Hopefully they're done giving us more Goku clones and they give us, I don't know, some Vegeta clones. Did I just give him fuel for a new video? No. Last time on True Dragon Ball Horror, Goku gets a surprise visit from each and every one of his doppelgangers, and being the main character of his series, and as Budokai Tenkaichi 3 fans will tell you, he has the most amount of doppelgangers, and unfortunately for Goku, they are trying to make it so he does not make it out of that room. Today, we have more to this story, because not only do we have several more doppelganger videos, fan animations by the awesome Kinzoku Mato, who creates this Dragon Ball horror, but we finally know where this is going. There's a story here that's all connected, and it's just awesome to finally see this as of the making of this video. I actually had to go ahead and re-edit this. They dropped another animation, so we got a brand new one fresh off the presses. That's going to be at the very end. Let's jump in to the first video.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
First and foremost, I love it that Broly is literally just hanging out with the DBZ counterpart. He's just chilling with DBZ Broly, which you can even see in the very beginning. He's kind of just staring at him like, oh, I guess you just wanted to watch TV with me, even though you scared the hell out of me in the last video. But right behind them, they have, oh boy, probably one of the best examples for this trend. That is Bio Broly. He is here, and oh, does he fit the criteria for Dragon Ball horror perfectly, guys. He fits it perfectly. He just looks amazing. The eyeballs falling out of the skull. He just fits so well. He's disgusting. He's oozing. He's gross. Definitely one of the most horrible double gangers that we've seen in this series yet.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Kind.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
So Broly's gotta have like the chillest double gangers. Either that or none of them really want to attack each other or fight or do anything. They're all literally just chilling there. Even Bio Broly watching TV and hanging out. Then they hear Kale coming in, and I think that Kale's demonic design fits her perfectly. It is very, very succubus. It shows you that it doesn't have to be super grotesque and disgusting, that she actually looks extremely well done, extremely cute, and then when you least expect it, she turns into the fucking demon from hell. I love the design for it, but at the end, we get our first hint at an ongoing universe with this story. Goku survived the attack from all his double gangers. Of course Goku would. He's fucking Goku. He survived the attack just barely. As you can see, he's just bleeding all over the place. But it looks like Goku's going to be coming back again for this story.
Beware the moon and stick to the road. Oops. Sir?
俺が化け物？違う。俺は悪魔だ。
Let that child alone.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
This one caught me off guard because I'm looking at Yamcha and I was only thinking in my head like, who looks like Yamcha? Like, then I thought, oh, this is the joke that Dragon Ball fans have within our community, and that is that Yamcha is Gohan's illegitimate father because of the way that he looks. I mean, young Yamcha versus young Gohan, same hair. When they come older, they look exactly the same as well. And then at the same time, even the future Gohan looks just identical to Yamcha. I think this is more that Akira Toriyama, or at least the creators of Dragon Ball, really kind of like that design, that Yamcha design, so they decided to just give it to Gohan. And that's kind of where that went, because obviously having, you know, him be the father doesn't make any sense. He's not a Saiyan. But in this iteration of Gohan, this spider Gohan that we have, this is probably the one that would freak me out the most. I absolutely hate spiders. I cannot stand spiders, and the fact that this is the first time that we get to see one of these things kill somebody on screen in the iconic way that Dr. Gero murked Yamcha, yeah, this is probably the scariest doppelganger for me, hands down.
It is a means to summon us.
Who are you?
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and...
So for the longest time, I thought that Emperor Pilaf and Garlic Jr. were the same species. They look identical. A lot of people thought that Garlic Jr. was a Namekian. He may kind of resemble one, but he doesn't look anything like one. He looks like Pilaf. Exactly like Pilaf, nothing else. And he looks like a bigger, buffer version of Pilaf when he gets into like that Dead Zone era, which Dead Zone to me is one of the most underrated Dragon Ball movies of all time. Definitely a banger. I absolutely love it, but a lot of people haven't seen it, and I feel like if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you gotta watch it. But this one I think hits home because of the fact that Pilaf is a little kid in this. He's in his bed. You see this creature kind of lurching over the bed, which is probably like the worst dream that anybody, or the worst nightmare that anybody can have as at a young age, is something from underneath the bed going above your bed. And the time 333, that is the ghost hour, that is the witching hour, if you guys weren't aware of that. So I like it. Everything fits in this.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
Bravo, fucking oh. This, I knew Vegeta was going to have a really awesome one. Not only is he shaving, giving us a reference to Dragon Ball GT and him having a mustache, I did not expect to see the ooze version of Vegeta, the goo one, from that filler episode in Dragon Ball Super. I did not expect that to be in here. I do love Baby Vegeta. I've always been a huge fan of Baby Vegeta. I love his look. I love the way he operated, the way he talked, the way he was just so overconfident on everything. I loved it. Now Vegeta attacks him in Ultra Ego and then completely vanishes, and we're gonna have a little bit more information on that here in a minute. But after that, we do see that Vegeta is attacked by Baby Vegeta. Then he's confronted with King Vegeta and what I can only assume is Tarbell, Vegeta's little brother. With that going on, Vegeta is basically completely outnumbered, his house is destroyed, but then we get a connection to an earlier video. That's what I'm saying. There's a cinematic universe with this. This is an ongoing story with Bulma. Bulma was in the car when Marin showed up from the backseat and attacked her. We see here that the car exploded, Bulma died, but this creature, Marin creature, survived. She's all burned up, her hair's gone, but she attacks Vegeta as Vegeta leaves the area to go see the car, sees that Bulma's dead, he's in tears, and then this creature attacks him. So we see that this whole story with all these doppelgangers is connected, and we actually got a little bit of lore as to what the doppelgangers are doing. Kinzoku Mato gives us some added lore as to what the doppelgangers are doing when they come and attack our heroes. So here we have confirmation that Vegeta ended up escaping. He didn't win, he just escaped all the doppelgangers, including the Marin one. But the doppelgangers' main power, as they want to replace, act as a sponge. The more time they spend with you, the more time they can use your power, the less you can use yours. It goes fast and explains why Vegeta reversed, meaning why he lost Ultra Ego. But why can we see Vegeta flying? Going far enough away from them helps you use your ki a little, not enough to be strong in anything though, and voila. It's mainly here for the plot. It helps the storytelling and gives me more flexibility, which I mean, I get it. If he flies around, I mean, that's probably takes a very minimal ki, but Ultra Ego probably takes a massive amount, which makes a lot of sense. Plus, I like that Vegeta was the first one to really jump into Ultra Ego, and he went into one of his super powered forms to attack baby Vegeta on sight.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
So this one's more of a what if kind of one, because one character in here is not, and it's even explained that it's not a character that we've seen in Dragon Ball, and that is Cooler. Second form Cooler is the one right after second form Frieza. So we see King Cold, which I'm assuming now is just King Cold in second form because he looks identical to the other two. We see second form Frieza, obviously. Then we see second form Cooler, which we've never seen before. And it took me a little back. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? This is more of a what if one. And then the last one is a third form Frost, which is one we did see in Dragon Ball Super. Overall, I don't mind the inclusion of Cooler in this. If we got more what if characters, that'd be kind of cool. I feel like there's so much more, there's so much breathing room with this concept or different types of stories that can be told in this space. It's something that I'm looking forward to watching every single week. I think that we can put this down as one of the doppelgangers' first confirmed kills. Now, I know it looked like Bulma died before and Vegeta was looking at her burning body, and that is when he was attacked, but we never got confirmation that they died. In this video, we do get confirmation that the Frost Demon actually killed all 3 of the original forms. So this specific doppelganger killing all 3 of some of the most powerful beings in Dragon Ball shows that this is probably the strongest one so far. He is the most powerful, he is the one that is the most violent, and it makes sense because this version of Frost, the one that is essentially the version of Frieza as well, is the most vicious looking. It looks the most alien, it looks the most like Alien. I'm pretty sure that I heard somewhere that Toriyama used the Alien design when he was trying to figure out what one of the forms of Frieza was gonna look like. But having Chill be in hell watching what's going on through that giant stadium orb that we saw in the Buu saga is a little level of humor that I didn't really see coming from this series, but at the same time, I was thinking that we're gonna get a new demon behind Chilled. I just don't know how many more of the Frieza designs they can actually use and any other Frieza doppelgangers that are actually still out there. So we can see the exact size of this thing. The creator of this series actually created files for each doppelganger. We only have 3 so far, but look at this thing. This Frost Demon is way bigger than originally thought. He is huge. The size of his arms alone could easily grasp onto Frieza here. He is deadly. His tail is sharp. He looks far scarier than the aliens that Frieza was originally designed out of. It even says here H.R. Geiger's alien. But we don't get much information on this doppelganger besides what he looks like, because in the video we really don't get a chance to actually see his entire size. In a more impressive show of size, we get to see what Cell Max's doppelganger looks like, and this one looks far closer to that Frost doppelganger in its bestial nature. Even its shoes, like the original Cell Max's Tims, are completely gone, and you can see that he absolutely dwarfs Cell. Now we don't know what happened to Cell, but I'm pretty sure that Cell Max is still out there, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. The last doppelganger file that I have to show you is of Vegito, and we get to see just one of the original doppelgangers. Not very grotesque. His face looks a little deformed. That's basically it. But here's one interesting file detail that I caught, and that is that his name is David. Now, why would his name be David when we all know this is supposed to be Vegito, Gogeta's doppelganger? Well, a few videos ago when I was covering this, I actually showed you an animation of a Vegito in like a creepy old-timey limited animation type of video where he's kind of explaining a little bit of what's going on, but then stops halfway because the background behind him explodes, showing a grim landscape. But in this video, what we get to see is that he actually calls himself and refers to himself as David. And now we got a fully fledged long video showcasing exactly what the in-universe explanation is for all this, coming from the creator of this animation and these creatures himself.
Is it recording?
Yeah. Why are you whispering? Because I am not supposed to speak. Oh, okay.
Hello, my name is David. Are you sure that David fits me that well?
It doesn't matter, it's for the video.
Meh. Today's recording is about explaining the situation around all of this. How could we call it? Inzotomato's Dragon Ball, the others, Body Snatchers, Skinwalkers, Doppelgangers, the Substituers, the Alternators.
What are you saying?
Anyway, as you can see, my mouth doesn't move as much as I speak. My dad said it was because I'm a wonderful ventriloquist. I personally think it's because of an incredibly lazy animation process. Hahaha. In advance, sorry for my English. I mean, look at me. Do I have the face of an English-speaking person to you? Absolutely not. And honestly, I'm doing pretty well for someone with a mouth wide open.
Just get to the point. They are waiting.
Okay, calm down. I'm gonna explain to you the overall context, rules, and apparently upcoming projects. As you saw it, it's about putting Dragon Ball characters in disturbing to many, horrifying to others, and boring to some situations. Them facing visually alternative versions of who they are and not exact copies. It was inspired by a reel found on Instagram, which was itself inspired by the Mandela catalog, both in the description. That said, now, the rules. Rule number 1. Am I not supposed to not being able to do that?
They are going to understand. Pursue gently.
Right. Number 1, we do what we want. Because we want to have fun. I get it. It explains why I was able to explode the wall. Got it, people? We do what we want. Woo, woo woo woo. And it will be the only rule, because this is a brand new wall and we don't want to break it. Some of what you wished for will happen, some won't, but don't be sad, because new episodes to come. 9. Sequels. Wait, what? Sequels?
So now we know a little bit more about what these creatures are supposed to be doing, what they're meant to be doing, and what the story behind this fan animation actually is, or all these parts to it. Now Kenzo Kumato has come out with a sneak peek, a little leak into what he's working with next, and that is Cellcore, or a sequel basically. It's crazy to think that this creature right here, the Cell Max Abomination, that is essentially just Cell Max but looking like one of the others, is actually 100% plausible when it comes to this versus matchup against Cell. The way he grips up our man Cell and actually eats him, Cell really can't do much against this type of creature. Cell Max would so easily be able to grip up Cell and eat him if he really wanted to. He'd be able to kill Cell with his bare hands if he really wanted to. So this is probably the most authentic out of this scenario because Cell is completely outmatched when it comes to Cell Max. Now Cell actually being in the stomach because he was eaten whole inside Cell Max is hilarious to me. Now these two are not two pieces to a puzzle, so it makes sense that Cell Max would not transform into something different, and having Cell use the self-destruction to kill both of them is actually extremely smart, because I do believe that from the inside out, an attack like this would probably have a really heavy effect on Cell Max. It probably burn his insides and really just burn him up and possibly kill him like that. I think that is plausible in and of itself with how strong this blast is. I mean, it killed King Kai and his planet, for God's sake, without any repercussions whatsoever. To use this just to come back again and become stronger, because he does become stronger, he had to destroy himself inside Cell Max. It makes a lot of sense, but what makes a lot of sense even more so is the fact that in Reincarnation, Cell Max uses that fact that he ate Cell to kind of mimic the next trajectory to his evolution, and that is the Perfected Cell Max, or the Perfected Cell Max monster that basically is one of the other monsters that is in this series. So while I do believe that Cell Max, if he ate Cell, he wouldn't really transform in that level because these are two completely different creatures, I do see a reincarnation because he has either seen, fought, or even tasted Cell, being that this would have him turn into a far stronger and superior Perfected Cell Max. And I want to see more of this. I want to see the continuation to a lot of these animations, because this story is just getting juicier and juicier, and the horror aspects of it is like, where has this been all my life? I've been waiting for Dragon Ball horror to be like this for years. So it's about that time of the month again, the time of the month where we get more Kenzo Kumato sauce. This is the guy that draws the coolest, most unholy, and realistic looking type of Dragon Ball art that we've ever seen online. This is Dragon Ball horror done to perfection. It just doesn't get much better than this. So if you know what this content is all about, viewer discretion advised. If you don't know, it's some scary ass shit, and I mean, it's late, so yeah, viewer discretion advised. Now, the last time that we visited this village of horrors, we saw the creation of basically Dragon Ball Super superheroes Perfect Cell Max. It's what happens when Cell Max eats Perfect Cell, and Perfect Cell explodes in order to, free himself from Cell Max, only leading to the rebirth of a even stranger and darker type of Cell Max, a more predatory Cell Max. And we even got some new artwork. He looks just as horrific as I would have imagined. He even has the added bonus that the middle of his chest is covered in teeth, and it's not a hole to eat from. It shoots Ki Blast. I guarantee you these are Beast Gohan level Ki Blasts that are coming out of this thing. So this is a formidable foe, but I wouldn't waste your time with more of this sauce without actually having a new animation to go with it. And today we have 2 new animations from Kinzo Kumato, growing Dragon Ball horror even further.
You see another person that looks identical to you. Run away and hide.
The setup for this is just genius. We get DBS Super 17, and he's doing what he's doing, playing with the cute little animals, just enjoying his day to day, when he is interrupted by Hell Ranger is what it's called. Now this is the Android 17 that was in Dragon Ball GT in that one season where there were several Android 17s, which is a really interesting character to take and make it into a double ganger, because there are other 17 variants that we've seen before. I mean, like Super 17. But to me, that just means that we're going to be getting more of the 17 double ganger videos coming up soon. But the outright disrespect for this evil monstrous 17 to be eating a furry little animal in front of the Park Ranger 17, man, it just doesn't get more gruesome or more violated than that. Now, before I show you the next video, Kinzo Kumato actually created a commission for one of his followers, and this is a commission of Goku Black. Now, of course, Goku Black is my favorite Dragon Ball character, and so I was eager to see what kind of twisted, demented horror Kinzo Kumato was going to make out of him, and he does not disappoint, to the point where I can't wait to see this guy in an animation, because look at him. It is just a monster that is splitting in two, showcasing the split, because he is essentially Zamasu and Goku both in one body. So I love the fact that we got a little bit of Goku Black horror in this video.
I am you. You are me. You complete me.
So there's an entire mini story here and a lot to unpack with this animation. I'm going to go ahead and do my best, but it seems like we are seeing or witnessing the locking of Garlic Jr. from the anime into the Dead Zone. Now, Garlic Jr.'s are already a horror that we've seen in the Kenzo Kumada Dragon Ball horror universe, so he's already down pat. But we get to see the moment where Piccolo goes to Kami to fuse for the first time, and we are sent back in time before this incident where Kami is actually attacked by Demon King Piccolo, who is now a doppelganger. He is a horror, and he needs Kami to absorb him in order for them to be complete, which is exactly what he does. And honestly, a really cool sequence where his light is literally flashing out of his mouth and into the other guy's hand, and Demon King Piccolo absorbs the light and literally transforms into Kami. This knowledge is then revealed to Piccolo, who has already absorbed into Kami, meaning that with the original Kami being gone, Piccolo really just absorbed a dominated Demon King Piccolo, who also had a little bit of Kami inside of him. So it is a huge reveal, and it showcases that Piccolo has more of that demon doppelganger inside of him than anything else. Who exactly is he? We don't know, because this is meant to be a twist. After a month of silence, Kenzo Kumado has finally come out with a brand new Dragon Ball horror episode to his Dragon Ball Horror Anthology series, or Dragon Ball Horror Cinematic Universe, or DBHCU, how I've been calling it. This is a series of Dragon Ball videos that are entirely horror, started by the doppelganger trend that happened a few months back, but it's morphed into its own universe. So make sure you check out Kenzo Kumado's Twitter account. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description below. That's where all the sauce is coming from, guys. He is doing the Lord's work by creating Dragon Ball horror, which is a genre that, you know, he's the only one in. So yeah, this is a very unique video. But after our diligent waiting from the cliffhanger that happened before, we finally get the newest part to the story, and it is called A Beautiful Family Part 1. Normally, I will wait for part 2 because I would want it to be like the entire story, but I checked this out, and yeah, this has so much lore in it and so many questions, and is just so unsettling that I had to make a video about it. So let's jump in.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
I told you this was solid gold. So to explain this, what ended up happening is that Goku is at home after DBZ. This is after the time skip. This has a adult Goten from the time skip era and an adult Trunks, and they're all having dinner at Goku's house when he gets a terrifying message. This message comes and connects to the last Kenzo Kumado horror video, which is the one with Piccolo, where you basically find out that Piccolo has been a horror for quite some time, and Piccolo, in his horror state, tells Goku to run away. And Goku quite literally takes this as drastically as possible and ends up using the instant transmission, stopping everybody from eating, grabs everybody, and transports them back. I think this is either Gohan's house or Capsule Corp, I'm not exactly sure, but he is going on a mission to find out what the hell is going on. And this teases up right toward another reveal that this is Prime Goku. Goku, as we've seen him before in other of the Dragon Ball horror anthology series, that Goku seems to be another type of Goku that has gotten doppelgangers on him, and this Goku is the one, the prime one. This is the one that is the main catalyst for the story, and now he's realizing there's other Gokus out there. And I'm just saying that because this Goku has no idea that there's other Gokus like him, while the other Goku not only knows that there's other Gokus like him, like Bardock or Goten or all his other doppelgangers, but he kind of knows what's going on already. So either this is just a part of the anthology series or this is part of the cinematic series. I don't really know 100% yet. But once Goku leaves, this is where it gets crazy because someone touches Goten's shoulder and it is Gine, but not the Gine from DBS Broly. This is a decrepit doppelganger, a horrible monster that only wants to do the worst to Goten. And I think the reason that this is Goten's doppelganger is because of the hair. They got like literally the exact same haircut, and even it's shown right here. So being the mama bear that she is, Chi-Chi actually smacks the jaw off of Gine and completely dismantles her, so she really can't bite or chew on Goten, catching him off guard. And she's gonna showcase in that like beast Gohan power, like the little red eye right there, you know what I'm saying? Like she is not here to let anybody hurt any of her babies. And then Trunks, which I think is honestly one of the coolest aspects, he is the one that turns Super Saiyan and destroys Gine. And I honestly fully believe this power scaling here because Gine, even if she was a doppelganger, she wasn't very strong to begin with. She was not a warrior. And so Chi-Chi smacking the jaw off of her makes sense because Chi-Chi is a martial artist. And at the same time, a Super Saiyan Trunks could easily destroy her as well. But we get so many different levels of storytelling and just connection to the wider DBHCU that I needed to talk about this episode because it just gives us another take on exactly what's going on and connects us even to the last episode with Piccolo.
You see another person identical to you. You. Run away. Hide.
So after Goku left his family to go and see exactly why he's feeling other beings that have his ki, but in a malicious way, he ends up instant transmissioning to this field, and as soon as he gets there, it's almost like a dark void wraps itself around his location. Like, this is the only way that the doppelgangers actually end up traversing from their world into the Dragon Ball world. So this is something we didn't actually get to see because the doppelgangers seem to just kind of pop up, and that whole run away and hide thing, yeah, that's the entire point of this type of animation. But now we get to see exactly where they're coming from, and the entire environment changes with their presence. Each doppelganger is more gruesome than the last, but in this scene, contradictory to the original one, we see that Goku, when he looks at Bardock, he remembers his own father. So he remembers in a faint memory that this guy is his dad and that this guy means more to him or has a deeper meaning than any other doppelganger in here except for one. First of all, I like the fact that Goku says, "Who are y'all?" Like he's got this southern drawl for some reason. Don't understand that. But he focuses in on Goten because the Goten doppelganger, that is his son. That is his pride and joy right there. So the fact that he's seeing Goten look like this and, you know, it not being Goten, it probably put the fear of God into, or the fear of Kami into Goku. Like, he doesn't know what the hell is going on, and this creature has stolen his son's face, and that's why he's freaking out, like, what the hell are you? And then after Goku realizes that this thing is not his son, this is a creature that he has no connection to besides the fact that it somewhat looks like Goten, he ends up, for the first time in this Dragon Ball horror anime series, ends up striking him. We really don't get to see much of these fights at all. Everything is kind of like what happens next. But in this one, we got to see that he actually strikes this creature because he is this pissed off that it's taken his son's face. So after striking this goblin thing, it ends up recovering relatively quickly, and we all know Goku. Like, Goku does not go full power unless the threat is like some galaxy level thing, unless the threat is something that could really harm him or his family or the planet. So when he punched it, he realized that there is really no holding back with these things. He punched it, it didn't do any damage, this thing is fine, and so he needs to pull out all the stops, and now he's going into Ultra Instinct to face off against these beings. It's not even normal Ultra Instinct, this is Master Ultra Instinct. So these creatures must be that strong, and we finally get to see not only what happened after Goku left his family and Gine attacked them, but also the conclusion of the Goku Doppelganger video. We didn't really get to see what happened next, and it looks like Goku not only is going to fight these things, but at the exact same time, it does seem like the story is kind of disjointed, and we're almost going backwards and forwards when it comes to telling this story. The Doppelgangers are now going for Goku's family. As you saw, we have Gine going after Chi-Chi, Goten, and Trunks, while Goku is being attacked by many Doppelgangers and is forced to go into Ultra Instinct, which is the most powerful and strongest transformation that he has at his disposal. But what we know of the Doppelgangers is that they are exact copies of the power level of the main being. So even though they may have different movesets and they're basically different characters from the series, because they're Doppelgangers, they are identical in power and strength as the main protagonist. So Goku right now is in a fight for his life. He's surrounded by 3 little mini Gokus, different variants that are as powerful as him. How is he going to deal with this level of strength, and can he pull off a W, or will he end up exactly like Vegeta did? Let's go ahead and jump into the video and see exactly what the hell is going on. I'm going to show you guys first part 1. There are 2 parts to this. This is the first part of the finale, Beautiful Family. Okay, so that was one ability that was demonstrated earlier in one of the early Doppelganger videos, and that is that they can turn off their counterparts' transformations. So that's exactly what just happened. The Doppelganger Turtles came in and he turned off Ultra Instinct, because obviously Ultra Instinct is going to be so much stronger, at least in ability. Even though they're around the same level of strength, their ability of Ultra Instinct is going to be so much better. So he turned it off in order to connect with an attack against Goku. As you guys saw, he basically slashed right across his chest, which is really brutal for an attack. It actually is really smart that he did something like this, because he turned off the one thing that would have prevented this attack connecting, and that is Ultra Instinct, instantaneous dodging. Let's look at the Turtles Doppelganger just for a second. This design is pretty good. I think that he looks more like a goblin-esque than anything else, so it's really only his face that is changed, but this is an obvious Doppelganger for Goku. We all know, we've all seen it. He is one of the Goku clubs, so I'm glad that they included him here. If anybody has the most amount of Doppelgangers, it's absolutely Goku. These doppelgangers are just sick. We have little Goku, we have Junior Goku or Goku Junior, and Goten. They're as strong as Goku. They match with Goku in levels of strength, and now that they can turn off his various forms and abilities like that, he is literally at their mercy. But I do like the way that toward the end, Goku realized he needed to do something as he's getting his ass whooped. Like, he's literally getting thrown around there, and he needs to do something. And the only thing he decides to do is like, you know what? I'm just gonna move the old-fashioned way. And he ends up moving out of the way, so the two doppelgangers end up hitting each other. And the doppelgangers hitting each other leaves only one doppelganger open, which is Goten. But Goku is kind of wore out here. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know about their abilities or strengths. He doesn't know what they're doing to him and why he cannot go in these transformations. And at this point in time, he still has Turles to deal with in the background. So yeah, Goku is pretty much fucked right now, and the doppelgangers are finally springing their last trap, the trap to kill Goku. So I didn't actually see this coming. Just to stop it here for a second, that Goku ended up getting his ass whooped by the little Gokus so badly that Goten actually felt bad for him. He's like, you know what? I'll let you fight somebody your own size, but I didn't expect who would be the one that would come as a doppelganger. And the Goku that we have here is obviously Dragon Ball Z, maybe Boost Saga Goku, or maybe even Dragon Ball Super Goku, since we do have everybody else being much older in the Goku family. So yeah, he's probably Dragon Ball Super Goku. So Kinzo Kumato brings out the one doppelganger that is not really a doppelganger, but a version of Goku in his past life. This is either DBZ, early DBZ Goku, I think, maybe like Saiyan Saga, or definitely Dragon Ball Goku, because of the way that his gi looks, the symbol, his belt, everything looks like it's that era. And this is probably one of the freakiest ones. He literally looks like Hellraiser, and his mouth is just so wide and so strung out. I mean, Goku is in dire straits right now if there are any more doppelgangers past this guy. Look at his arm. Some of the teeth are still in there. That's disgusting. I cannot. I can't look. Okay, that gives me like, oh man, that makes me disgusted. That is so nasty. I can't even look at that arm like that with like little holes. Ugh. Oh my god. Yeah, Goku, he did not learn anything from him getting his ass whooped in the beginning of this animation, because he's still using ki attacks and ki abilities against a being that can turn off his ki attacks and ki abilities. Now, he didn't do it this time. He actually ended up biting the ki blast, only for him to get destroyed by it. So Goku actually has managed to kill one doppelganger in this entire video series, because it's been a very, very long video series, and they really don't kill the doppelgangers a lot. Sometimes you make friends with the doppelgangers, you don't even kill them, and Goku's the first here to kill one of his own doppelgangers. A W for Goku, 110%. right, you guys already know my favorite doppelganger just entered the chat. We have doppelganger Goku Black. I've been waiting for Goku Black to show himself in this series since it started. He is obviously the prime doppelganger. This is the ender boss of the doppelganger crew, and you can even see that he's got a completely new look. It's just two people that are already doppelgangers meshed into one. Makes sense because Goku Black is a culmination of two people, but I like his design overall because he just looks really lanky, looks like Slender Man, looks very, very creepy, and the hair color is a mixture of not only Goku Black, but Super Saiyan Blue. There is no rosé here, but I do like the dark elements to the hair color. It makes this version of Goku Black really, really unique. And Goku is basically done for here because if he can't defeat Goten, he sure as shit can defeat Goku Black, who can go into that Super Saiyan God element. So Goku is essentially defeated by the doppelgangers. He's not killed per se, but he can't fight anymore. He's completely depleted in strength. He's got little holes in his arm, which is disgusting. And now he even needs the assistance of the Nimbus to move around. The Nimbus came in clutch and rescued his ass before the Goku Black variant, who wants to replace Goku, took over his life and his body and destroyed him. So the ending I love because it is a huge foreshadow to the only person that has not really gotten the official doppelganger experience, and that is Gohan. He has been mysteriously missing from the entirety of this show, and it has been noticeable. So I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing with Gohan. I can already see the doppelgangers for Gohan being obviously Beast Gohan, although those are his various transformations, but Yamcha maybe. I don't know if they're going to just use like smaller versions of, you know, Kid Gohan or something, or they're going to be using, like, definitely going to be using Future Gohan. That's going to be 100% one that they can use. There's just different variations of Gohan that are even in like the anime, the heroes, and just the video games and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see what they do with that. Maybe they'll bring a What If Gohan, like a Gohan Black What If. That would be really cool. And it looks like we're going to go straight for Gohan. So Goku's defeated. This is essentially the ending of this season.
We're gonna find out who's who.
You see another person that looks identical to you. Run away and hide.
Alright, Doc. Gary and Clark, move over there.
Okay, that one was disturbing because not only does it finally get to the core of what a lot of us parents fear, which is something like that, a monster scaring our children, but it gives us an insight into what makes these doppelgangers come alive, and it's just so simple. It's the broadcast. The broadcast doesn't seem to be giving away information and giving us news, basically like, oh, if you see somebody else, you know, run away and hide kind of thing. No, it looks like the broadcast since the beginning is what is creating these doppelgangers. At least that's the way that it seems like in this, because nothing was happening up until the broadcast dropped.
Norris, you and Childs, shoot him up with morphine. Tie him down in the rec room.
And that just hits the next fear, and that is that something will fully traumatize and completely change our children to the point where they can't even see us or can't see somebody else or can live normal lives without having some sort of problem and issue that's deep rooted due to their trauma. And that's exactly what this doppelganger has done to Pan. I've never seen something so sad in Dragon Ball, honestly. I haven't seen something that is from this series that is as disturbing or as sad as what's going on right now. This is completely heartbreaking what's happening here, and I hope that Pan goes to normalcy. With this part of the episode, I liked how Gohan kind of, as soon as he heard her scream, he like had those red eyes like he's about to go into beast mode. But Pan having a breakdown like that and exploding, destroying the room, and Gohan protecting Videl is just so real on a level that I don't think that this series has been real up to this point. Videl comes in for the win. She and her motherly love has calmed Pan down and brought her back to reality. Gohan even notices that this isn't just like when he was pushed to his limit. This is somebody being pushed to their limit through sheer terror and trauma, it seemed like. So this is not something that, I mean, he's had it before, so he can recognize it, but it's not something that's positive of her being able to push herself beyond her limits. And so we find out here that Pan is extremely powerful, but at the same time, we also find out that now the root of her power is going to be this trauma of seeing her father as this doppelganger, which is really sad. And we finally get to see who was actually calling, which was his mom, who had just confronted doppelgangers back at her place. And so she's probably trying to warn Gohan herself. Now, one of the most interesting things here is that we've seen this doppelganger before back in the Yamcha episode. In the Yamcha episode, we see Yamcha just hanging out watching TV. The exact same broadcast drops about the doppelgangers, and who comes out but the spider version of Gohan. So this is a reoccurring character. It could be one of the prime doppelgangers, one of the villains of this Dragon Ball horror story.
We'll do you last.
Everything is finally connecting. All the dots are glued together because we have the explosion that happened to Vegeta and Bulma, the doppelgangers attack there. We have the doppelgangers attacking Goku, Chi-Chi, Goten, and Trunks. And now we have them attacking Gohan, and the doppelganger that was the Gohan doppelganger, which was also the Yamcha doppelganger, he is coming up with a plan to bring everybody together. So more likely trying to take the spot from the originals and kind of replace them, basically like the body snatchers type of thing. So I personally love, and I want this to be in the manga or in the anime, when Gohan uses his, like, say he uses some of his abilities or his strength, just like he did here in the last 2 episodes, and then you see a flash of red in his eyes because of Beast. I would love for that to be something that happens in the official Dragon Ball anime or manga. So this is the first time we're actually getting one of the doppelgangers actually talking and giving us like actual information about what's going on, because up to this point we'd have to like sift through all these videos and look for clues, but the doppelganger basically says the only reason they're made is to fight the originals, kill them, and replace them. Basically become them. That's their only purpose in life. That's all they strive to be. That's all they strive to do. But there's still more that needs to be done. There's still things that even this one doesn't know. So there must be somebody else pulling the strings and creating these things. And even he said he was created to be Gohan and Yamcha because they both look very similar, but he had to make a choice and he killed Yamcha to become Gohan. Basically, he chose the better option. And Gohan goes into Ultimate because he's not going to let this guy just explain his whole evil plan without challenging him. And the fact that he killed one of his friends, he's going to fight him. I'm hoping that's going to be the next thing. Oh, that's right. Gohan doesn't know the longer you stay around your doppelganger, the weaker you get, the more you're drained, and your transformations and power and strength don't work. That's how that works. But we found out something brand new about the doppelgangers here, and that is that they can absorb almost like the life essence of their victims and become less monstrous and more like, you know, they're trying to replace somebody. Basically what happened to this guy, and his face slightly transformed to be less hideous. And Piccolo comes to save the day. Remember, Piccolo ended up basically battling within himself against his doppelganger, and he kind of came out on top. He basically has the influence of doppelganger, but he's still Piccolo. He's still, you know, of this world, and that's why he's able to basically do something like that much damage to the Gohan doppelganger, but at the same time, he looks as monstrous as he did. This is a great series. You guys love this series. I'm going to continue with it. But let me know what you guys think of Dragon Ball Horror in its totality. I'll have a video with the entire series updated as soon as I can make it.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.